Welcome to week 2 of our prep football video previews. I'm Gabe Winston, sports editor of the Gaston Gazette, joined by Richard Walker, Philip Gardner. This week we're going to just break down a few matchups, 3 of the matchups in the area. First of all, Phil talked about a county matchup, East Gaston, North Gaston. It's been a conference rivalry for a while. This year it's not. Talk about what people might see in that game.
Well, it's natural for these two teams to play each other in a non-conference situation now that they're no longer in conference. I got to see this game last year. It was a really good game, and both those teams struggled last year, and both of them knew that it was a great shot to get a win, and so you saw a lot of intensity on both sides. East Gaston edged North Gaston on that one. I expect to see something similar this time. I think East Gaston's making some strides. Richard saw them last week. They were able to move the ball and score some points, and I think they'll be able to do that against North Gaston this week. I hate for North Gaston what happened last week, blowing the big lead in the fourth quarter and the 5 turnovers in the second half. But I look to see them come back and show a lot of effort because they know this is a game that they can compete in.
Richard, another big matchup, South Point, Lincolnton. Two obviously proud traditional type programs. Talk about that one a little bit.
Yeah, they've been playing in one way or another, if you count South Point's old Belmont High heritage, back into I think the 30s and 40s. And those two schools, in the last 10 years, in our Gaston-Lincoln area, have probably been the 2 best teams historically. And this year, you've got a little bit of rebuilding at both places. And I think with South Point, they'll certainly be eager to come back after losing to Clover last week. Obviously, Clover's a really solid team. I think most of us picked Clover to win that game, but South Point ended up having a real shot to win the game. Lincolnton, with the new offense, there'll be mirror images. In a lot of respects, Lincolnton has been watching South Point all these years and has adopted their offense this year to take advantage of the skills of Rashad Thompson and Brandon Wilson. And Lincolnton coach Scott Kleininger is kind of a bit of a poor mouther, but I think he realizes that his schedule at the first year is very daunting and challenging, and it really, these games, certainly they want to win, but they're trying to get the momentum rolling for later in the year. I mean, we don't have to have real long memories. A couple of years ago, they were 1-4 to start of the year, and they didn't win a state championship. This would be a tough task for Lincolnton, even though they're at home. But a game I've covered several times over the years, and it's always a lot of pageantry at Lincolnton Battleground Stadium. South Point will bring a lot of fans. Should be a good atmosphere up there in Lincolnton on Friday night.
And Phil, finally, another county matchup, Huss, Bessemer City. Talk about those two going head-to-head.
I think the interesting matchup is Gazette Player of the Week, Marshall Williams, quarterback for Hunter Huss, against Bessemer City's quick and experienced defense. Bessemer's got 8 starters back on that defense from a year ago. They've got a lot of high hopes on that side of the ball. Offense is where they're concerned. At Huss, it's a little bit different. They're putting a lot of faith in their quarterback, Marshall Williams, because he started at least some since he was a freshman, and so he's the big veteran guy. 4 touchdowns last week, 2 passing, 2 rushing, and so he showed you that he's living up to the billing already. Question is, how many holes will he find against that Bessemer City defense?
That's it for week 2. If you ever have any questions for us or something you want us to talk about in these videos, send those to sports@gastongazette.com and we may use them on the video. That's it for week 2. We'll see you next week.